So, Hayley, where are you traveling to next?
So my next place I'll be traveling to is hopefully to Vegas in August to do the Jiu-Jitsu cons. It's for 2 days, gi and no gi. So that's gonna be my target for August.
Now, the reason why I'm asking is because every guest so far has said that with the £2,000 prize pot, they will be traveling and investing in more competitions and more jiu-jitsu experiences. So it sounds like you're doing exactly the same.
Yeah, it's like I love traveling. It's like I say, I gain the knowledge from whether we go to some gyms, speak to other coaches, like just get some input and then bringing it back home. And this is where we feed the knowledge to gain more wins and successes, especially in MMA for me as well. Not just in jiu-jitsu. I like to be an all-rounder. It helps me gain the progression in the martial arts.
I love it. Anyway, it's really great to be able to chat with you for KAIROS Pro Jiu Jitsu podcast today, Hayley, and the KAIROS 2 event on the 27th of April, hosted at Escapology BJJ and sponsored by 866 Jiu Jitsu Wellness Camp based in Whaley Bridge in Derbyshire. Go and check out their latest events and go get yourself booked on. Frontier Risks Group, disruptors to the security and risk management space. If you're a professional already operating in the security, risk management, safety, or consultancy space, you can choose from a range of courses designed to enhance your knowledge, skill set, and network. Two Chefs Cambridge, Ben and Tinson, founders of Two Chefs Meal Prep delivering nationwide, go and order the family favourite beef chili. Jits Magazine, your home for BJJ and Jiu Jitsu news, including the latest in MMA events, results, interviews, and features. And me, Jiu Jitsu Lou podcast host Lou Temlett, your host of the show, aiming to get more people listening and watching to great Jiu Jitsu podcasts. Go and check us out. Links are in the show notes. So, Hayley, you are infamous on the MMA scene. You've recently come back from the US. Tell me about that.
That was an amazing experience for me. Now, for me, I had to go up a weight category as the fight offer was a upper weight, and I have done them before, and this was a an opportunity that not say you don't want to say no, but it's another level that I just want to take upon, and I'm glad I did. I didn't get the result that we'd liked, but to go up that next level, and I came across a world boxing champion. And I still had the last round with bringing some jiu-jitsu into play, but I didn't get the win by decision. But it was such an overwhelming experience to be on a bigger scene and to go out from being on their turf. It's
Yep.
just surreal, surreal.
I love the fact that you mention opportunity. And I think all of us would really benefit from seeing everything in life as an opportunity. You sound very positive and very growth mindset. How does that play a role in your success, Hayley?
Well, if you just stay where you are, for me, if you just stay in your comfort zone, which some people do, you need to be at that top level where you can actually have more successes, how you can build your confidence to know where you stand. It's like you can be the same person, just do same things over and over again. But as soon as you start coming out your comfort zone to travel, to go to different places, meet
Mm.
different people, then you know where you can see yourself just broaden out. And this is why we take these opportunities just to see that I can be there. I can be that role model, inspiration, and fighters that we are to represent.
That I felt quite emotional then and quite kind of tingly in a really positive way. You know, it's so refreshing to listen to someone that is an inspiration to so many individuals, particularly women in the similar weight category to yourself, kind of inspiring them to step out of their comfort zone. You know, what really resonated when you spoke then was, you know, we can go through life repeating the same behaviors, continuing to train in the same place or just do the same things. And, you know, it's down to us to question whether we're growing, whether we're satisfied with that, or whether there's something more. How do you see your kind of growth and progression being more for you? What does the future look like for you, Hayley?
I said everything's now, I've mentioned this word before, and it's an awakening at the moment. Everything's starting to come more and more to scene where things are coming out opportunities like being on Kairos, like being into Miami. Everything comes to more when you step out of that level, where you go into new scenes. everything becomes more noticeable, and you can see, okay, this is where I'm at now. Let's take this on, and then I can start saying, I am a competitor. I can be an all rounder. I can do this. It starts to be more. You appreciate it more in a way.
Yeah, I think it's incredibly valid what you're saying. And um, before we go on to Kairos One, whilst you were kind of watching, tell me a bit about that experience in Miami.
So for me, like I've had fights where like it's been UK bound, but I've been to Ireland. But stepping out into a big international scene where it's on US turf and obviously being UK bound, it felt like I was the challenger. Now to be seen as a challenger is that I am up to this challenge. I know that I can step in, bring my game into whoever I was going to come across, and knowing that nothing can not feel pressured for me, but I can handle it. That's not, I
Yeah,
am made for this. I know that I can take it on, give it my all, and then that's where I know where I stand in my level.
I love it. I love it. Now, before we started recording, you mentioned watching Kairos One and equally being quite inspired by that event. Tell me what you remember.
I remember there was like matches back to back, and like I say, seeing the coin flip, like okay, they're doing this, they're gonna be doing gi, they're doing no gi, and seeing the women on that division, it's just shows like it's so skilled. Like every division that I was watching, every match I was watching was so skilled, and we bring the challenges, we bring the excitement. It's so technical that for us women, that we can bring something out of the bag, we can bring out little sneaky stuff. We're never like, which is women's matches are never boring. As you can see in MMA fights, they are so tenacious that we can bring that excitement, the technicality behind jiu-jitsu. And that's what I got inspired from Kairos One. It's the technicality behind each technique, and it was great to watch.
Is there any particular match that stood out for you?
Oh my gosh. Oh, who was it?
I'm putting you on the spot now.
You literally put me on the spot. Oh my gosh. I remember I got a friend of mine who was on it was Hayley's match. That was quite good for me. And she like I've seen her when we used to roll together years ago, and she was exciting to watch as well. So for
Yeah.
her to be on it, it's like it was so amazing to watch her being on it. And
Mhm.
now for me to step on it as well, like it's nice that I can feel that motivation to do what she did as well.
That sounds really cool, actually. You're inspired by other people that have been on Kairos 1. Now, how are you preparing for Kairos 2?
So I'm always in the gym, like I'm always doing my game. It's like I never know who I'm gonna have yet until the day. So, but I know some of the women that I've seen, and they're lovely. They are absolutely lovely ladies. So I'm just gonna bring my game, what I do on a daily basis, few amendments, like especially from everything's not it's growing, but nothing's changed. It's modifying in the game. So I'm just modifying a few things just to bring into the matches.
It sounds very exciting. And you mentioned the coin toss. How ready are you, Hayley?
Oh, I love that. I like it's just that spontaneous, like, right, you're gonna do gi, you do no gi. It's like I'm game. And this is why for me, I do practice gi and no gi. Like it
Yeah,
helps to broaden my mindset just to be ready for anything that like as Kairos 2 will bring of what I'm going to bring the strategy wise.
yeah. What kind of advice have you got for any of us that might be aspiring to compete at such events as Kairos or maybe others? Any kind of mindset or kind of training camp advice for any of us?
It's to be you. So when you're going to train, when you get ready for these comps, you just be you. You don't want to try and be like anybody else. They can inspire you, but you want to be you. So being in the gym, try stuff in the gym. You got to stay consistent. If it's not something not working, you try for something else. You always having more than one option, and
Yeah.
that's why that hunger for more knowledge when you're doing these competitions, it feeds you like, oh, I could do more for this. So that's why I'm inspired to do different comps that can step up my way of doing the jiu-jitsu game.
Yeah. Amazing. I am excited that you're excited, and just the spontaneity of all of this. I think the matches, the gi, the no gi. all of the opportunities, you just don't know what you're going to get on the day.
No, you don't. That's why I like it. Like, it's going to be an exciting day, especially like I'll be watching others compete as well. I'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, like the intent you probably will feel, but the laughter you're going to hear afterwards, and that's the sportsmanship that we have in the sport.
Yeah, amazing. Are you one of these people from the sidelines that will be cheering the competitors on as in their match?
Yeah, like I'd like watch is like I'm not going to say anything, but I'll just cheer, because that's their thing. But like I'm not broading for anybody in particular, but they're all amazing. And like
Yeah,
it's like I say, we inspire one another, and especially being in the under 55, for
yeah.
all of us being there is a motivation to hope to bring to others.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the Kairos Pro Jiu Jitsu podcast with me, Lou Temlett, coming to you from the UK. One of the things that would really help this show grow is by you subscribing on whichever platform you're on: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or even Amazon Music. If you could do that for me right now, I'd be forever grateful. And as always, go and check out the clips on YouTube and Instagram at Kairos_pro_jiu jitsu. Today, I'm having a chat with Hayley Valentine. Now, Hayley, you mentioned the under 55 division. And I've also read about you being an atom weight. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so with me being atom weight, so an atom weight in pounds is 105, or in kilos, it's about 47 to 48 kilos. So now
Okay.
that's a rarity of the weight category. It's not as big, but it's big abroad. Not as big in the
Yeah.
UK, but it is big
Ah,
abroad. But
okay.
this is where in jiu-jitsu they've started to bring that category more,
Mm.
but there's still not as much. So this is why we're trying to inspire, especially for the smaller ladies. There is opportunities for them to do it, thinking, oh, I'm tiny, I'm small, but there is a category for them. So we're getting more broader with the weight categories in both sports.
I think I mean, I certainly feel it's incredibly important to give the opportunities. And in previous conversations, the understanding that women are smaller than you expect, but it's a sector of the demographic of people that train Brazilian jiu-jitsu that want to compete. And like you say, if they can't because their weight category is not available, then adding more weight categories to all of the competitions available, and particularly the under 55 for KAIROS. Talk to me about how it is competing at that atom weight, and how different that might be from what you've observed at other weight divisions.
So in when I've competed at 105, I'm in my prime state. This is where like you are more switched on, you're more like your body's pumped of the say like the adrenaline, and you're
Yeah,
feeling more of the strength. Now, being under 55, there's nothing wrong with that, but you feel like you're not as switched on as certain times. Sometimes I do, but this is where like the changes in my training have to modify. But there is a little cost to certain weight advantages because, like, for me, I am small. But I give everything that I've got. But you've got to remember, I still give everything in my matches. Doesn't matter what the weight is. I've been
yeah,
in many weight categories. I've been in under 69 in jiu-jitsu, and I still give everything my all. And I come off that match like, yeah, I did everything in that match, and I felt great.
amazing. How do you think going up the weight categories, even if you're under 55, just to get a match, how is your kind of gameplay different from your experience to someone that's kind of just under that 69 kg?
So I do have to take in mind, obviously, they are going to be either tall, obviously, the strength and the weight, it's going to be their advantage. But I now have learned over the years of doing jujitsu of how to play, not say against it, but to work with it, where
Yeah,
I have to probably use more speed, I have to use more endurance. So that's when the percentage of work has risen. And this is why I have trained so much just to understand the endurance, where I can keep going last 5, 6, 7, 10 minutes even in the
yeah.
matches.
Now, you mentioned there about the length of matches. Apart from in training, where you might spar for much longer than 10 minutes, what has been your longest length of match so far?
It has been 10 minutes that I've done I think it was a grapple fest match, which was 10 minutes, and that was like a couple of years ago. And I know that I can go full on. And I think I did an overtime as well, and I did it twice on grapple fest. And I
Yeah.
know my endurance for that is perfect. So I can go full on for 10 minutes.
I love that. And having the confidence in yourself to know that you can do that and have the capability is incredible. That self worth and self knowledge and belief in yourself. How do you go about gaining that self belief aside from all the things you've spoken about already and the awakening? What gives you that inner self belief?
I think for the years, right, where it's not losses, but you learn from your matches and you learn from your fights. And it knows that they're not put downs, they are learning curves where, okay, I can do better next time. And I have. I surprised myself. And people think that they get a dump when they have losses and everything. I think that's
Yeah,
more of a drive for me. And it's that self belief, that it's the mentality game where you just got to keep going. If you stop, you won't know what's going to happen next time. And that's when I look forward to the next time. It's like, right, this is now my comeback.
yeah,
And it's a drive where I've progressed on more and more from the last time. So it's a
yeah.
learning curve.
I love that. Do you use a sense of competition and drive to kind of move you forwards? So, for example, when you kind of want to do better than somebody else, or do you use your own ability and kind of compare yourself with how you might have been in the last match, and then use that to drive yourself forwards with that competition kind of spirit?
Yeah, totally. Like that's a good example where if I can see myself what I was like last time, it's like, okay, this is not the the side I wanted to see, or that's the side that I wasn't expecting. It's like, okay, I hype myself. It's like this is going to be now 110% work to improve from the last time I competed.
Amazing. Now, I've spoken with a number of pro athletes, Hayley, and they all consistently watch their matches back and review and kind of learn from it. Is that something you do as well?
I do, and I do it like a few days afterwards. But this is now like, okay, that was then, this is now. So we've done that in the matches, and you never know who you're gonna have next time. And that's why,
Yeah,
okay, this is the now we're gonna focus on. Like you did brilliant, like that's how you're gonna get the wins. The losses we learn from that, and this is now. Like it's all good. You you see you done well before. Now we're gonna
yeah.
make it 10 times better the next time.
I just love your inspiration, Hayley. I'm gonna listen back to this recording because every single moment I'm listening to you now, and there's just that energy and vibrancy about your drive and commitment. Yeah, I want more. Talk to me about your training camp because I want to know how you're preparing in your weight category and for Kairos 2 Pro before you fly off to Vegas in August.
Yeah, so like I have so many different teammates that have different they have their game plans. So this is where like I'm looking at different areas of jiu-jitsu where you got leg lockers, pressure games, people that like to have positional dominance. So I'm all rounding with the teammates that I have that'll help me put me in the bad positions and how I'm dealing with them.
Yeah.
And from seeing who I've got, like I've got some good competitors on the tournament so far, and it's going to be exciting. And this way, like I want to bring the excitement with me as well. So the endurance is okay. It's just the tactics I want to play into my training as well.
That sounds very organized and very kind of measured, and it's going to bring you the success. Now, aside from training Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, what else do you do to prepare your game?
So it's also, like I say, the mentality thing. Like I'm looking at the fights that are coming up this weekend because there's a lot of jiu-jitsu. You got Polaris uprising on today as well. So I'm looking at all what's been inspired to see from their matches and looking at other stuff that I've seen before in other matches, not mine, but other ones as well.
Yeah.
Um, so it's research basically, looking at certain researches and just getting my body into muscle movements, muscle memory, just so it's a reactive thing whilst not being in class, but just being on the mats, just drilling some stuff as well.
Yeah. And you train every day, or are you multiple times a day training?
I do train every day. Like it's all within a certain hours. Like I do bits in the day, but that's my thing. And in the evening, that is my training area of time where everything is focused within that time period. All the coaches are in, and that's where we all sit down and just take a look what we can learn and adapt as well.
I love that. So, Hayley, you're a brown belt. Quickly talk me through your journey from the beginning of your jiu-jitsu journey.
It's been amazing to be fair. I actually thought about it the other day where how I've come to now, where like little me, looking how like I wouldn't even think of jujitsu back years ago, and then progressing the people I've met, the places that I've been to, the accomplishes that I've done, the learning curves that I've done, and many memorable moments after where I got engaged after doing the ADCC trials. That was a big thing for me.
Yeah.
So everything's been excitable. Nothing has been boring. That's why like my life has changed for the years that I've trained jiu-jitsu.
Wow. And just remind us how many years you have been training jiu-jitsu, Hayley.
About 9 years now. Like 9 years,
Okay.
probably about a month ago. That's like I literally dot the years I've been doing because every key moment is valuable to me. It's not just for me, like my family have seen how much I've gained confidence the years I've been
Yeah.
doing this. It's like before I'd be at home, nothing wrong with being at home, but it's having a hobby. Like at first it was a hobby, then it started to be more of a passion and a career.
Yeah.
So yeah, my life has changed 9 years now.
Amazing. What does the future hold for you? What are your visions for your future jiu-jitsu and kind of MMA career?
For the jiu-jitsu, like I just want to compete non-stop, get the highest to the highest, compete on the big platforms, like bring some exciting matches, and just be like showing little me, like I know I can do this. Like it's such an inspiration, like to my family, to my friends, to my teammates, that I can be up there to be representing them, not just me, but for them as well. And for the MMA is hopefully to get on the bigger platforms as well. The one in Miami was the first step, and now we're gonna get bigger from now on.
I absolutely love that. Hayley, if people aren't already following you and being inspired by your mindset, your approach, your drive and commitment to jiu-jitsu and MMA, how can they follow you?
You can follow me on my Instagram account, which is Hayley V MMA. I've got a lot of content on there, like all upcoming fights and what's going to be next on my platform. And yeah, you can see where I train with the best of the best in the UK.
And do you have any message for any other women competing on Kairos too?
I say like it would be amazing to see them on the day. Like I'd like to be on the mats for them, being all there, representing the under 55 kilo division. I look forward to it. It's going to be smashing, to be fair.
Oh, I am so looking forward. It's going to be streamed live on YouTube. Go and follow Escapology BJJ. Hayley, thank you so much for your inspiration. I feel so much more uplifted from this conversation, which is always the aim, and just encouraging more people to listen to individuals like you and your approach. I just think it's incredible.
No, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And I like to try and inspire others, and not just like others that inspired me, but to give out my side of it as well.
I think it's incredibly important. Anyway, good luck for Kairos too.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Tell your friends about this show, maybe even drop it a rating and a review. Thanks again for listening. Catch you on the next episode of the Kairos Pro Jiu Jitsu podcast.